Setting your audio over. I'll hear you all again in a minute. Jeez.
Couple moments to stuff those lungs back inside.
Nah, I'm all right. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Sunday Shenanigans with me, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308. Oh, that's the wrong button. I kind of gotta apologize, guys. I'm not at my best today. This is the second worst day of the year for me. Oh, we're in ad break now. Oh, it ends in 3 seconds. That's okay. Hi, welcome back from ad break. Welcome back to Sunday Shenanigans with me, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308. We are here with Kat, the ASOC Prod, and the Peanut Gallery. And I was apologizing to everybody because I'm pretty off my game today, guys. This is, really like the second worst day of the year for me. It is, I'm going to do the ad read real quick before we get into some depressing shit. Because, whatever. Also, I don't know that I'm going to be able to stay PG-13 anymore. I think my ability to not do that has gone out the window.
Okay.
But today's pre-rolls brought to you by the Hidden Leaf, downtown Charlottesville, Virginia. A great place to go with some great buds to get some great buds, eh, bud? And the only thing better than their bud is their customer service. They're located at 105 West Main Street on the downtown mall above the Bricks, Suite 200. And they do have the lowest prices in town, according to my own personally highly biased research, by which I mean I was I personally was incredibly high when I did my biased research. Note of disclosure, they have nothing to do with the emotional and mental breakdown I'm going through right now. Neither do our other sponsors, Kush Gang, purveyors of fine edibles and drinkables, and Firehouse Craft Farms. So I would like to say that all of the mental and emotional breakdown you see on this channel is brought to you by the piece of shit known as Thomas William Stewart. And none of these sponsors are responsible for me or anything I say. And y'all want to know an interesting piece of trivia about that piece of shit? My father? When he was in his 30s, I think around 35 is what he told me, he had a 19-year-old girlfriend. Isn't that skeevy? Oh, wait, I was in my teens at the time, so we were living as a nuclear family out of the farm. Wow, what a creepy fucker. Happy No Father's Day! All right, now that we've got that shit out of the way, and again, guys, I'm really sorry that you have to tag along for this. Also, I'd like to say to the viewers at home that I'm not going through this for clout or views. I really could kind of care less at this point. I feel like what we do here is important because we're just trying to make the world a better place. And we're trying to have fun doing it. I have a hard time believing that we'll ever be a money-making endeavor. But I like the idea that we are doing this for the passion of doing it. Thank you, guys.
And now I feel the need to find the Shia LaBeouf meme for "Do it."
Okay.
Yeah, except Shia LaBeouf's a piece of shit, too.
I have no idea what his story is, but still, that meme is still
Oh, he
still
used to
resonates.
beat FKA Twigs, and then he emotionally abused her. Yeah. He's a piece of shit, too. Not all men. It's just that so many of them are bad that we don't know which ones we can trust until we get to know you guys really well. You know, I mean, Peanut Gallery. I do trust you. You know? I'm not gonna say you're one of the bad ones. You're not one of the bad ones.
Oh, I like the fact that you trust me. That puts you one step above me.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's get into the show and see if we can distract me from my emotional breakdown.
Hmm.
Kat, thanks for tagging along.
You need an emotional oil change?
I need an emotional transmission change.
Just the filters. All the filters need to be changed. That's all. Air cabin, transmission, oil, gas. All of it just needs to be changed.
Right?
Although he has been making sure all the joints are well oiled and taken care of.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to make sure the joints are paid attention to. All right.
I guess you were just being blunt about it.
I mean, if you want to pass
It's a
luck, go
chronic
for it.
problem. Man. So, I hate to say it, but I think this last batch of pre-rolls might not have come out quite right.
Oh.
And I'll be winners.
Nope. But I guess what that means is instead of smoking joints throughout the show, I'll have to smoke a bowl. And since I came to the realization today that smoking cigarettes isn't a moral failing, I might be smoking cigarettes on stream again. I do want to stay cut down on cigarettes. I don't want to be smoking, even a half a pack a day. But I also just sort of came to terms with the fact that I smoke cigarettes doesn't mean that I'm a grapist, a PDF file downloader, or a red rummer.
No, you're not.
Right. So
Although I do have to say this. I'm going to have to go on strike if you start bowling. Smoking a bowl. Bad puns, bowling.
Oh, no, I get it. I'm laughing so hard on the inside. I'm having a hard time keeping a straight face on the outside.
That's because you.
I love it. I love it, man. It's great.
It's going to be like another 12 years before I take you bowling again. You realize that, right, Peanut Gallery?
Well, now.
We just proved last time we went bowling that I can go bowling and I'll definitely not be on strike.
I know.
Next time you go bowling, you should take a skinhead. Like Kemper von Beethoven. Take the skinheads bowling, take them bowling.
No, I want to enjoy myself and not have to deal with Mook. The Mook can stay outside.
The point being that you stick your fingers in their eyes and your thumb in your mouth and you use a skinhead's head to bowl.
Yes, and I do not find that pleasurable. That means I've got gook on my hands. I do not want to bowl with gook on my hands. I want to eat my nachos and drink my drink and enjoy myself. They can stay outside and be bird food.
True.
Oh, good. It fixed. Let's see.
Okay, so I kind of forgot where we were at, but I'm just going to go ahead and press play on the... pencil, paper, shit like that, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Our special guest today is Chis Perfetti. My eyes are getting bad. I can't read that far. From Abbott Elementary.
I want to say parfait.
Huh?
My problem is I see that name and I want to say parfait.
Right? Perfetti. Handwriting. Well, let's jump into the game. Can you guys hear
energy
it?
products and services to help enhance lives.
All right.
More
And now
information
we
is
can
at
hear it on Twitch,
carrier.com.
too.
Carrier, for the world we share. This message comes from Whole Foods Market. Hosting it from DSW. Everything in between.
Easy Chicago, this is, wait, don't tell me, the NPR News Quiz. I'm the voice that tells souls to go toward the light. I'm Bill Curtis, and here is your host at the Studebaker Theater at the Fine Arts Building in Chicago, Illinois, Nagin Farsad.
Oh, thank you, Bill.
Hi, Nagin.
And thank you, everyone. I'm filling in for Peter Sagal because he likes to take a full Father's Day week. We have a great show for you today. We're going to be joined by Chis Perfetti from Abbott Elementary. That's right. He plays the anxious, grammar-sensitive Frisbee dork on the show, which means he'll fit right in with us. But first, it's your turn to dork out. Give us a call to play our games. The number is 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. Now let's welcome our first listener contestant.
Hi, you're on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hi, this is Christian from Portland, Maine.
Hi, Christian. There's some Portland, Maine fans in the audience. What do you do in Portland?
I'm a meteorologist, actually.
Oh. Do you have a favorite terrible weather?
Ooh, I'd have to say hurricanes. I love a good hurricane.
Oh, that's right. You sound dangerous at a party.
Good news, Portland. We've got a hurricane bearing down on us.
So fun. Now, Christian, let's introduce you to our panel. First up, he's the host of the daily podcast TBTL and the public radio variety show Livewire, which will be at Kiln in Portland, July 17th. It's Luke Burbank.
Hi,
Hey, Christian.
Next, she's a comedian who will be headlining the DC Improv July 11th through the 13th. It's Joyelle Nicole Johnson.
Hi, Joyelle.
Hey, Christian.
And he's a comedian who will be playing at Blue Note Jazz Club in Hawaii on June 25th and Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank on July 25th. It's Alonzo Bowden.
What's up, Christian?
Hey, Alonzo.
Hey, Alonzo.
Okay, so Christian, welcome to the show. You're going to play Who's Bill this time. Bill Curtis is going to read you 3 quotes from this week's news. If you can identify 2 of them, you'll win our prize, which is any voice from our show on your voicemail. Are you ready?
I'm so ready. I can't believe it.
Okay, here's your first quote.
There will be 28 Abrams tanks, 6,700 soldiers, 50 helicopters, 34 horses,
Donald
2
Trump
mules,
or
and a dog.
parade. Or military
Yeah.
parade.
All right, what will this
Yep,
assorted
the Trump
collection of
parade.
creatures and weapons be a part of this
Military
weekend?
parade.
That would be the
downfall of
250th
humanity.
anniversary of the Army Parade in D.C., I believe.
That's right, Trump's military parade. This weekend, Trump is throwing himself a military parade honoring his birthday and the Army's 250th birthday. Just what the Army needs. Someone
parade
showing
for
up
the
at
first day
their
of the end
birthday
of the
party and going,
world,
it's my
guys."
birthday too.
I think that one dog, like all the other dogs are going to be on him, like, what are you doing? Why are you out there? What are you, one of them now? That poor dog.
It's a lot of pressure.
He's got to go through this.
Well, look, it's one thing to demand a multi-million-dollar military parade, but did he also have to demand being Santa in the final float?
Right?
You know what I hate about this? I hate having something in common with a wannabe dictator. I'm very vain. I'm a Virgo. I would love to have a military parade for myself. I'm mad that he beat me to the punch. I'm gonna find out Stalin also liked oyster happy hours. Like, what's going on?
Do we know what the weather is going to be like for the parade?
Well, I think we can ask Christian.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
Good idea.
The swamp.
Can you?
We just happen to have a guy.
Can you summon a hurricane,
Yes.
Christian?
I'll try my best.
I've driven in D.C. numerous times. I've gotten lost every time I'm there. I don't know how you're going to drive a tank through Washington, D.C. It literally, the streets are too small for a Prius.
And actually, it's funny you should mention the streets because there's going to be 28 Abram tanks in this parade, which are, and this is true, they're twice as heavy as the weight limit of the streets in D.C.
Nice.
So it's not the greatest thing for our national defense to show people you can destroy Washington by simply driving tanks down the street.
Right?
Every time I think we could not do a bigger self-own, we find a new
Yet
thing.
another way. Let's move on to your next quote.
Even athletes,
second,
the
just a
most
second.
virtuously
Okay.
healthy of celebrities.
What? What's up? What's up?
Okay, considering DC is its ground is kind of porous, it would be absolutely hilarious if the military parade found a sinkhole.
Yes, it would have. It would have been brilliant. Gosh. That would have just been lovely.
No, what would have been lovely is if all of the preceding vehicles had formed the sinkhole and that last lightest but more arguably protected one went down.
Yeah, that would be great.
But as it was, the fact that you've got everybody else. You've got millions turning out elsewhere for everything but this, and the
Right.
expected turnout for his. Literally, they had like 5 people on the bleachers.
Right.
They had 5 people on the bleachers, and they had one of the oldest. They had a tank as old as that man himself there.
Exactly.
And it was so quiet you could hear the rusty treads. Nobody was cheering for him.
No one gave a shit.
No.
And yet everybody was out at the Indivisible protests. It's so beautiful. It actually gave me a little bit of hope. Like, maybe the world isn't actually ending.
Across the country, at least as before I went to bed last night, it is estimated that between 5 and 9 million people turned out for the various protests collectively.
Wow, that's wonderful.
And if you remember hearing that one guy I talked to,
right?
What was the magic number that he was hoping for?
Oh, I can't remember.
10 million?
10 million? Wow.
So while there were not necessarily 10 million people in attendance specifically at the various protests, if you count all of the vehicles that we saw going by and honking in support that just couldn't stop.
Yeah.
That number has got to go up.
Yeah, it do.
So while you may have had between 8 and 9 or whatever the final count everyone thinks it is, actually standing there on the sidewalk, you have to add that at least another million or 2 on top of that for all the cars that went by with people cheering and supporting. So
it's nice. It's a good bit of hope.
It is.
We're still committed to the bit though.
Yeah.
We're still doing it's the end of the world as we know it and I feel fine bit for now.
Did you see the aerial photos I dropped in chat for you?
I don't know. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Someone from Indivisible or someone that supports Indivisible had their drone out there doing aerial footage.
This makes me
Look at that.
so proud of Charlottesville. You know, I talk a lot of shit about that town, but you know what? Fucking A if they didn't show up in force for it.
Mm-hmm.
I may not want to be in a relationship with any of those fuckers, but god damn if I don't love the fact that they're at least good people that way.
Estimation for this particular event in Charlottesville is at least 5,000 to 6,000 people standing on the sidewalk.
That's awesome.
And since, I stood there for an hour and at least every third car that went by was blowing its horn.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good. Those are great numbers.
Yeah. The noise was loud enough you could hear it down to the backside of the giant shopping center.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
It is.
This cough is bad enough or this wet weed is bad enough that it's making me just like cough.
That's not good.
No, it's not. But it's okay.
All right, back to the show.
Back to the show.
Yep.
Back to the show.
If celebrities are involved.
That was Guardian newspaper talking about how more and more celebrities are taking up what bad habit?
Ooh,
Taking selfies?
Oh, smoking.
That's right, smoking. Now, it's popular again, and to any kids listening, we want to be clear, smoking is not cool. It only makes you look cool.
Yes, important clarification.
But thanks to more and more characters in TV shows, smoking is back. It's on The Bear and on Just Like That. Musicians too. Beyonce smokes on stage now. It's all coming back around. We got rid of records and now vinyl is back. We got rid of measles and now measles are back.
It was also on Broadway, too. I went to go see Good Night and Good Luck, and they were smoking on stage. I'm like, bitch, I got asthma.
I think we'll know that this is officially a thing when they bring back the greatest joy of my childhood, which was candy cigarettes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If you got one that had some dust in it, you could blow on it so it would kind of look like smoke was coming out.
Yep, I had those.
You wonder why my generation is deeply, profoundly messed up. Because we had child cigarettes.
Yeah, I was up to a full pack of candy cigarettes in my heyday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
me
who
too,
wins in
me
the
too.
smoker versus vape debate? Like, which one is?
Alonzo,
Who's cooler?
literally vaping has never been cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Put the vapes away forever.
In defense of vaping, when you're walking down the street and somebody is smoking a cigarette and that smacks you in the face, I'd rather get hit with a vape cloud.
You want to taste a root beer plum smoke that was in someone else's lungs? Because when you smell the smell of their vape, it's because it was in their body.
Exhale.
Absolutely. I want some root beer. I want some raspberries. I want some strawberries. I want some strawberries.
Let's do cigarette smoke.
All right, Christian, you still there?
Right.
All right, your last quote is some advice for choosing which concerts to see this summer.
Budget-conscious fans get the best value from Usher.
According to this advice, the best way to judge a concert's worth is to figure out the price per what?
See?
Per
Head.
ticket?
No. The price per.
Yeah, that is the traditional way, but there's
Song?
another way. Let me give you a hint. The set list is
Yeah,
basically
price
an
per song.
itemized receipt.
Price per song.
Price per song! You got it on the first try. That's right, price per song. So concert tickets are ridiculously expensive, what with Ticketmaster fees and those tariffs on encores. And when you break down the price of a concert by song, some fans are paying over $10 per song at a show, which is crazy. Now, if there was a way to pay extra for an artist to play my favorite songs first so I can leave early, I would definitely pay that.
So is Usher the number one value because of a low price or a lot of songs?
Oh, he plays like a ton of songs. And also, Usher's cost per is the deal of the century.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Usher will also steal your wife if you go to concerts. So you get the value, but you won't have a wife.
So just to be clear, the math comes down to average ticket price divided by how many songs they perform. So a ticket to a Beyonce concert is $490. And she plays 36 songs, coming out to $13 each. And remember this math next time you're at a show and the band is like, all right, now we're going to play some new stuff, because that band is stealing from you.
Yes.
I'm going to say I just saw Grace Jones on Monday. $18.70 a song, and it was worth every penny.
Did you just do that math on that piece of paper?
I did. I had the picture of the set list.
But I mean, this is my question. Like, do we really want to bring a buffet mentality to art? You know, where you're like, Mona Lisa is a great painting, but price per inch, she is not worth it.
That was my literal reaction to seeing the Mona Lisa.
I mean,
Yeah.
not
I
wrong.
waited in a very long line.
It is not a big painting. It is like barely that
It's smaller
big.
than my monitors.
Right.
I think it's the painting is literally like what, 12 by 14. It's tiny.
Right. It is absolutely tiny.
You've got that, and then I think about the painting that was above the bar in Alhambra for years, and it's like,
I don't know if I remember it.
The painting was so big that it was bigger than the mirror on behind the bar.
Wow.
It was literally above the bar mirror. It stretched approximately 10 feet. It was at least 10 foot long, and it was at least 3.5, 4 foot high.
Wow. That is.
And the painting
freaking
started out
huge.
originally. It was painted by a local artist, and originally it was displayed when Mavericks was still a restaurant.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow. That's back
it
in
was
the
painted.
day.
It was painted, hung at Mavericks over there. Well, it's now Plaza Azteca. It's been 17 million things since, but it was hung at Mavericks, and when Mavericks closed, it was purchased and hung at Alhambra.
Okay.
Mavericks was okay, but I preferred the people who originally built that building, Pargos.
Oh, man, I remember Pargos. They were... Okay,
They
I
were a
remember
budding national
Pargos.
chain
What
that
I
didn't do
remember
well.
about them is being absolutely okay.
Yeah?
Yep. Their food was incredibly all right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were trying to chase after the same Applebee's and Chili's crowd with their stuff, so they weren't exactly too adventurous.
But it was way more plain. Their food was just so flavorless. It didn't taste bad, but it also didn't really taste good. It tasted like food in a nebulous sort of sense.
I thought it tasted fine.
Exactly.
It
tasted fine.
It tasted better than bland by a far shot. In my opinion.
All right.
That's fair.
Put it this way, it was not British food.
No, it was not.
Right?
We conquered half the world to get all their spices and then use none of them.
Right? Well, okay, now.
I know that's not entirely true, but it is still a funny meme.
It is a funny meme, but I do have to, because I specifically went over to England to have fish and chips so that my friend could prove that wrong to me before she died. So I have to say, like, I mean, yes, their food is mostly pretty bland as compared to, anywhere else. But the best fish and chips are the best. Like, they are amazingly flavorful. Really good. And they're found in a little side street vendor shop in Scarborough, just off the water. You know what?
That's good. You know where to find the fish and chips.
Yeah. You know what I didn't have while I was over there that I really, really, really wanted to have?
What?
Bangers and mash.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted some genuine bangers and mash, and I never quite got around to it. But that's okay. Not everything on our bucket lists gets to get done. Right?
Well,
it's just stuff we'd like to do.
And there's nothing saying that you're not ever going back to England again.
Well, other than the fact that the world's ending.
All right, well, we take that out of the equation. Nothing is saying that you're never going back there again.
Right. I'm committed to this bit now.
You can be committed to the bit. That does not mean I'm not going to throw wrenches at you to keep you committed to the bit.
That's okay. I like it. I like it. All right. Back to the show.
Yes.
And I got there and I was like, this is smaller than I was expecting, honestly.
I think that's everyone's reaction
Yeah.
to the Mona Lisa.
Size does matter sometimes.
Yeah, I've been trying to say it doesn't, but it does.
All right. Bill, how did Christian do?
Like his forecasts, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah! Congratulations, Christian. Thank you so much for playing our game.
Thank you so much for having me.
And now, panel, I have some questions for you about this week's news. Alonzo, you've heard of Real ID. Well, this week the TSA released an advisory reminding people that they cannot get on flights using what? What?
Okay. What is it? What is it?
The Costco card. You cannot use your Costco card to get on the flight.
Costco card. All right.
Yes.
Yep.
We're going with Costco card. All three of us.
As someone who flies all the time, this one even surprised me. You cannot fly using your Costco card.
That's true. Have you tried?
No, but I read the story and I was like, I can't believe they're doing. I have all of it. I have Clear, I have TSA PreCheck. In other words, I travel all the time. I'm getting through the airport. If I have to wait for you because you broke out a Costco card, we're going to have a problem.
Plus, when you get off the plane, they go through your whole receipt, just checking that the flight was okay, which is a major time killer. Where my Costco head's at?
Coming up, our panelists celebrate when they were just a twinkle in their dad's eye. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to play. We'll be back in a minute with more of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me from NPR.
And effectively come from Mint 3-month 5.
LPL Financial. Strategy assures success.
Do. Go to stamps.com.
We're playing this week.
I'd like to take a moment and stop and talk about my cough right now.
Yes.
This is a different kind of cough than I'm used to. This is a very dry, hacking cough. It's not stuff moving around. I don't know what this is about.
Did you take your breathing meds today?
Yeah, I did. I've taken.
How long ago?
You saw me take a second dose just now.
Okay.
I think this is what coughing is supposed to normally be like. I think this is what people are supposed to cough like when they don't, when they're not drowning in mucus. I think... I'm not sure, but I think I'm experiencing breathing like a normal person all of a sudden. I don't know how I feel about it.
Understandable.
Well, all right, let's get back to the show. I just wanted to stop and say that this cough is actually I'm not sure, but I think it's healthy. There's not stuff down in my lungs right now,
That is a good thing.
Yeah.
Worrying, but good.
Right? Okay, I'm going to explain to everybody why this is actually worrying me. My cough meds have stuff in them that, makes me feel insane a little bit. So I've really tried not to take too much of my cough meds, fearing that I will, go insane. I think what I found out over the last couple of days is that I'm not insane. I just have undealt with issues. And it's, it's okay to be me. And if that... Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there.
Luke Burbank, Alonzo Bowden, and Joelle Nicole Johnson. And here again is your host at the Studebaker Theater in Chicago, Illinois, Nagin Farsad.
Thanks, Bill. Now it's time for the Wait, Don't Tell Me, Bluff the Listener game. Call 1-888-WAIT to play our game on air, or check out the pinned post on our Instagram page at WaitNPR. Hi, you're on Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hi, this is Devin from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, Devin. What do you do there?
I'm actually an elementary art teacher.
Nice.
That's
you love
awesome.
teachers
I have
here.
a 6-year-old, and the art teacher is her favorite teacher. Are you the favorite teacher of many children?
Of a lot of them. I would say, like, if you want to feel like a rock star, be an elementary art teacher, for sure.
Nice.
I've made some career mistakes. Okay. So it's so nice to have you with us, Devin. You're going to play the game where you tell truth from fiction. What's the topic, Bill?
How I Met Your Father.
So it's always fun to learn how your parents met, then not fun to learn anything about what happened later that night. Our panelists are going to tell you about this unique way two people got their family started. Pick the one who's telling the truth, and you'll win the waiter of your choice on your voicemail. Are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
All right, first up, it's Alonzo Bowden.
Jennifer Langley loves to ride. Her happy place is whipping around Chicago on her Vespa. She knew she had to have a man who shared that passion, so when she heard about a biker rally in Sturgis, she had to go. Well, it turns out Sturgis is the biggest motorcycle rally in the country.
Yeah.
Fortunately, she found out most of these guys weren't sons of anarchy, they were sons of arthritis. Soon, everyone at Sturgis heard about Jennifer and her Vespa, and she ended up winning the loudest motorcycle competition when her muffler was broken. When Peter, a Harley rider from New York, saw her accept her trophy, a chrome muffler with her name engraved on it, he fell in love. And when Jennifer watched him do wheelies on her Vespa, she fell in love with him. And now, with a baby on the way, they're talking about a sidecar.
All right. The love story from a biker festival from Alonzo Bowden. Your next man in a meet cute comes from Joelle Nicole Johnson.
When Daniela Senor attended the funeral for a family member 2 years ago, she spent the afternoon reflecting on their life, legacy, and how smoking hot the funeral director was. When you imagine an Undertaker, maybe you picture a Nosferatu as ghoul or the pro wrestler who wears that wet coat. But Apollo wasn't like your average Undertaker. He was normal and handsome. So naturally, Daniela went to every funeral for 2 years. Trying to catch Apollo's eye. She's from a small town in Brazil where everyone knows each other, so it was easy to get away with going to all those funerals. But wearing that black negligee did seem a little over the top. It took 2 years because Apollo was, quote, always focused on his work. What, does a girl have to be dead to get any attention around here? But finally, she caught his eye, and they got married last weekend. I can't wait to see the rom-com based on this, 400 funerals and a wedding.
All right. The woman who went to a bunch of funerals to catch an Undertaker's attention from Joelle Nicole Johnson. And your last future father comes from Luke Burbank.
About 8 months ago, Yelena Kondakova noticed something was going on. Her meals on the International Space Station just looked and tasted better than everyone else's. It almost seemed like maybe it was all made with love. That's because it was. Down on terra firma, food scientist Pavel Yegorov was tasked with preparing the cosmonauts' meals and sending them up. And he had fallen in love with Yelena, but not based on her brains or her beauty, but on her bizarre food requests. Once she asked me if she could have freeze-dried pickle herring, which caught my attention because that's disgusting. No one has ever asked for that. Pavel explained to CNN. Along with a batch of cabbage soup, extra sour, just how she liked, Pavel started including little notes like, have a great day riding on that exercise bike and spinning around, catching water droplets in your mouth, or whatever you do up there. Yelena was charmed and started using her weekly phone time to chat with Pavel, and before you know it, the two were in love. Last week, when Kondakova splashed down in the Black Sea, Pavel was there on the boat with an engagement ring. Kondakova, of course, said yes enthusiastically, followed by, also, I really need to sit down because I am not used to this amount of gravity.
Okay, Devin.
Couldn't stand the gravity of the situation.
Okay, Devin, so you've...
What was that, Peanut Gallery?
Just reiterating the pun, she couldn't stand the gravity of the situation.
Very good. All right. Answers in chat. I think it's A. Kat thinks it's B. Let's see.
I'll go with C, just so we got the entire board covered.
Okay.
All right. Peanut Gallery's got C covered.
Devin, so you've got a Vespa-riding woman finding love at Sturgis from Alonzo Bowden, an Earth-based chef who fell in love with a cosmonaut based on the food she ordered from Leif Burbank, and a woman who went to 2 years' worth of funerals to catch the funeral director's eye from Joyelle Nicole Johnson. Which one is real?
Oh gosh, that's hard. I think they all deserve love, but I'm gonna go with the Vespa.
Okay.
Not many people like that answer.
The
I'm changing my
audience
answer to
is
B.
partially supportive of that. Okay, well, to find out which story is true, we spoke to a reporter covering the real story.
This woman was going to strangers' funerals for 2 years just to flirt with somebody.
I am so glad I changed my answer.
There she goes.
That's right. That was Ashley Fike, a news desk writer for Vice, who reported on the woman who persisted after the funeral director's heart. I'm sorry, Devin, but Joyelle has the real answer. You didn't win, but you did earn a point for Alonzo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for playing with us. Bye.
All right, thank you. This was so fun. Bye.
Work, work, work that body for me. Work, work, work that body for me. Work that body for me. Work that body for me.
Right.
And now, the game we call Not My Job. Chris Perfetti was primarily known for his dramatic work before landing the role of beloved history teacher Jacob Hill on Abbott Elementary. Since then, he's won a Screen Actors Guild Award and shared a Peabody with the cast and crew. Let's see if all that time at a fake school taught him enough to play our game. Chris Perfetti, welcome to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. Chris, I, first of all, love the show. You're so funny. We have something in common. We both started out our careers in entertainment as baristas. Apparently, you were a Starbucks barista, is that right?
I was. I still feel bad about it to this day, but I sort of used it as a way to get a job elsewhere. I knew about this kind of like Starbucks loophole that if you got hired, you could be transferred somewhere. And
Happy
I knew
Sunday,
when I went to
Jasmine
drama
Crystal.
school, I needed a job. And so I didn't tell them, but I, applied and got a job in my hometown just so that I would have somewhere to work when I went to school.
Oh, wow. So then they just put you at another Starbucks.
Yeah, there's like a few of them, I guess.
Yeah. I walked by 3 just to get to this theater, so yes. And then, okay, so as a Starbucks barista, did you intentionally screw up names on the cup?
I was not trusted with the customers. They learned very early to put me at the bar to make the drinks. I was really good at that. I could, but
were you doing the heart shapes and the palm tree shapes on the foam?
Oh no, there was no time. What are you talking about? There was. I feel like I worked at quite possibly the busiest Starbucks in the world. And so you were just lucky if your order came out correct.
So you spent this time at Starbucks, but you did you put a lot of time in serious theater. Is there like a favorite theatrical piece that you did?
I don't know. I think doing Shakespeare in the Park really kind of like came up first for me. You're doing a play for, first of all, just so many people. It's outdoors. And sometimes it rains halfway through, and you slip and fall on your butt in front of everyone.
I get that.
Did that happen? You fell on your butt in front of everyone?
Maybe. Maybe it happened more than once.
Literally everyone right now is Googling. So that's... Now, let's talk about Abbott Elementary. And there's something about that show, that the elephant in the room, which is that you have one major quirk in the show. Your character is a huge Wait, Don't Tell Me fan.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
That's,
I love that.
Huge fan of the show.
Oh, thank you, love.
Now,
Thank you.
I want you to be honest. Did you know about Wait before you were that character?
Are you kidding, Nagin?
Oh, thank
Yeah.
God.
And you saying that just kind of has renewed my fears about season 5. I'm terrified about, the line between Chris and Jacob is getting very blurry, and I decided to not share with Quinta any other personal details about my life because, we show up to a table read and there it is. So, yeah, I'm so glad that made it into our show.
So knowing that, so when that trait was given to you, did that affect how you did that character? Were you like, oh no, I got this? What did you change about the character, knowing that you could go full wait dork?
Really not much. I mean, I feel like Quinta has given us such permission to, be sort of the authority on these characters, and I think it made perfect sense. And once again, I'm just I'm terrified about what's going to show up next season.
Now, actually, so I heard this rumor, and I wonder if it's true. I heard a rumor that your mom pitches ideas for Abbott Elementary.
Yeah, she totally does.
Brilliant.
God bless her. She's she reminds me that the show is on, and she likes to, kind of go through the plot of that week with me when I call on Sundays. And
she gives notes.
That's always a joy. Yeah. She thinks. Yeah.
What was that?
Translation for that, God bless her, is please stop.
Yeah.
She also do that with Shakespeare in the Park?
My mother has given notes on everything I have done since the
So you play this iconic teacher on TV. Have your own teachers from the past approach you with tips or feedback?
Oh no, I think if they ever saw me in person again, they would probably physically harm me. I've made very clear of them, and probably they of me. I made their lives a living hell.
Wait, so were you not a good student? Were you a troublemaker?
Not at all. No, I really enjoyed school, but school did not enjoy me.
Okay.
All right, Chris. Well, we've asked you here to play a game we're calling
Abbott Elementary, Meet the Elementary Abbotts.
So you star in Abbott Elementary. Don't be scared. It's going to be okay.
I wasn't good at school, Nagin.
Okay, so you star in Abbott Elementary, so we thought we'd ask you 3 questions about another kind of Abbott. That's right, we're talking about monks.
That's what I
Answer
thought.
2 out of 3 questions correctly, and you'll win a prize for one lucky listener, the voice of anyone they choose for their voicemail. Bill, who is Chris Perfetti playing for?
Jake Evans of Los Angeles, California.
Jacob, let's go!
Good, Jake.
Okay, here's your first question. A group of monks in the French Alps have taken a vow of silence, but they are allowed to speak in certain conditions, including which of these? Is it A, when singing along to their favorite Bad Bunny song? Is it B, when they really need to talk about a cool leaf they saw? Or is it C, when calling the monastery cats to dinner by making kitty calling noises?
B? You're saying B? C, I'm saying
I
C.
really didn't think I needed to hear any more options after A, but I'm glad I did. I'm going to go with C, I think.
That's right!
Very good.
What was the question?
That's right. Every abbey makes an exception to their vow of silence as long as the monks are being adorable. Okay, here's your next question. Monks are known for living lives of peaceful contemplation, which is why one monk in Japan got in trouble when he started doing what? Was it A, halfway through meditation time, he loudly said, boring? Is it B, angrily responding to every negative Yelp review about his monastery? Or is it C, trying to jazz up the chants by doing some sick harmonies?
I feel like I want to go with B.
That is right! When one reviewer complained about the food at the Abbey, the monk responded, and this is true, yeah, it's monastic cuisine, you uneducated
2025 will do that to a monk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will.
All right, here
2025
is
will
your
do
last
that to
question.
anybody.
Though it surprises a lot of people, monks have unknowingly made a huge impact on pop culture, as proven by which of these? Is it A, Law & Order's dun-dun sound is partly a recording of 500 monks stomping on a wood floor? Is it B, the members of the band One Direction first met during a school trip to a monastery? Or C, the reason Vin Diesel shaves his head is because a monk came to him in a dream and told him he'd look cool bald?
I was going to go with B, but I'm thinking C.
God bless you. Wait, don't tell me. I'm going to go with, those are so funny. I'm going to go with A.
Hey, good.
That's right!
That was the
The
only one that
dun-dun
made
also includes
any
the sound
measure
of a
sense.
hammer hitting an anvil, and if you listen closely, the scream of a man who just hit his thumb with a hammer. Bill, how did Chris Perfetti do?
The teacher is always right, and this teacher got every single one correct.
Yeah!
Mama's gonna be proud.
Congratulations, Chris, you're a big winner. And Chris Perfetti is one of the stars of Abbott Elementary. All 4 seasons are streaming now. Chris Perfetti, thank you so much for joining us on Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Thank you, Chris.
Love you.
Thank you so much, Chris. In just a minute, Bill tells you have to save money on your next hot date in our Listener Limerick Challenge. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to join us on air. We'll be back in a minute with more of Wait, Don't Tell Me from NPR.
This message comes from Money to Work.
Target comes from Progressive by state law, not
Joelle, Nicole Johnson, Luke Burbank, and Alonzo Bowden. And here again is your host at the Studebaker Theater in Chicago, Illinois, Nagin Farsad.
Thanks, Bill. In just a minute, it's the Listener Limerick Challenge, if you dare. If you'd like to play, give us a call at 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. But now, panel, I have more questions from this week's news. Luke, self-driving cars will revolutionize the roads in all kinds of ways. And according to the Wall Street Journal, it'll especially change the time-honored tradition of big family what?
Vacations.
Big family road trips.
That's right. Big family road trips.
What else could have been the answer? Big family makeout sessions. Only one word ends that sentence.
I mean, vacation.
But that's right. With
But yeah, that's the
self-driving
same
cars,
thing.
family road trips will never be the same. Automakers are designing features like lie flat seats for naps and full screens to watch movies and shows on the road. Sorry, Yellowstone National Park, I can't look at you right now. I'm finishing season 3 of Yellowstone.
I'm the oldest of 7 kids, and we didn't have a lot of money. So when we actually went on a trip, it was always a road trip in an old Ford van, probably not one seatbelt in the whole thing. Yeah. My dad would take out the back seats and put in a futon pad. There'd be like 6 kids just laid out reading Archie magazines as this thing bombed through the Pacific Northwest. And those listening to Christian music on the tape deck. And let me tell you, those were some great memories.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be sad that people will not have that in their family life anymore.
Well, honestly, I think you're right. I feel like it ruins everything magical about family road trip, right? Because where's the excitement of running out of gas on the highway because your dad was sure the next exit had it cheaper? Or if your parents aren't driving, how are you supposed to learn, Mom has some anger issues? And if you're facing each other, that just increases the risk of getting barfed on.
It eliminates the age-old threat of dad driving and saying, "Don't let me come back there."
Yeah.
And the kids knew dad couldn't come back there because he's driving.
Yes.
Well,
Right.
guess what? In a self-driving car, he's coming back there.
Yeah. All we had to do was figure out how to bob and weave away from an arm that was going backwards. That was as dangerous as it got.
All right, Joyelle.
That's me.
It's wedding season, and according to an etiquette coach, if you need to leave the wedding early, the best way to do it is approach the happy couple and say what exact words?
My baby has diarrhea.
And you're talking about your husband.
No, this etiquette coach suggests, and this is true, you approach the happy couple and say these words. I must depart early. Please do not be concerned. I will be in touch later.
Is it a Star Wars?
What did you say, Kat?
I said congratulations, but I need to leave. If I said what she said to anybody that I actually know, they'd be concerned that there was a hostage situation going on.
That's kind of what I was thinking, too. Like, that does not sound... That sounds like you're being forced to leave against your will. Are you sure you're okay? Do you need help? Should I call 911?
See, if I said that to people to leave a wedding, people would be like, what the fuck? Oh, wait, that's just him. He randomly does this.
Right.
Which is why I used me as the specific thing, not you, dear. Because you do that.
Yeah, I was about to say, can you argue with that? I randomly break into what I jokingly refer to as ice speech.
Yes, you do.
It's simply formal.
Oh, yes. Yes, you do. You do. Being that I know that about you, though, it makes it a lot less jarring. I'm waiting for somebody to insert the canned laughter.
We don't have any. All the cans exploded in the heat yesterday.
Very good. All right, back to the show.
Star Wars themed
It's basically an excuse that says, I care enough to say goodbye, and apparently I have a gun to my head.
Yeah,
I would prefer an Irish goodbye.
100%. I don't think anyone, having been married multiple times...
There it was. Irish goodbye.
Yes. Yes.
Who
Yes.
was it who didn't know what an Irish goodbye... It was peanut gallery, wasn't it?
Yo.
Yes.
And what was the setting? What was going on?
I honestly don't remember. I remember it got brought up recently, but
and you didn't know what it was, and I explained why it's offensive.
Right.
Do viewers at home want to know why that's an offensive statement?
Might as well.
You need to be reminded.
So, an Irish goodbye is when you leave the party without saying goodbye. When you don't say goodbye to anybody, you just kind of dip out. And it's called that because Irish fathers would dip out to go to work to London and leave their families behind and never come back. And never tell them.
You know,
so an Irish goodbye is sort of like a...
Going to buy cigarettes at Walmart?
Yeah. Smell you later, and then he never smelled me later.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I can think of one reason why people have come up with this Irish goodbye that has little to nothing to do with that. And it's actually moderately positive.
All right. Give me a ray of sunshine, baby.
The Irish goodbye is the Irish just leaving England. It's like, F this, we're out. Ain't saying nothing to these assholes.
Deuces, you can keep it. I do kind of like that idea.
And of course, the English would be highly offended by such behavior.
Of course they would. All right. Back to it.
Not to brag.
You got alimony.
When you're in the eye of the storm, a.k.a. you're one of the people getting married, I don't think you are tracking when people are coming or going.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody needs to take time out of their life to come up and do an AI adios to you. You are distracted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like when you have a comedy show and people tell you, oh, I can't make it. And you're like, I don't care.
The other thing that works really good is I must depart early. I have just discovered it's a cash bar.
Yes.
Which, there's more honesty to that one.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Coming up, it's lightning fill in the blank, but first, it's the game where you have to listen for the rhyme. If you want to play on air, call or leave a message at 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. You can see us most weeks here at the Studebaker Theater in Chicago, or catch us on the road this summer. We'll be in Salt Lake City on July 31st and at Tanglewood in Western Massachusetts on August 28th. For tickets and more information to all our live shows, go to nprpresents.org. And you can now find us on TikTok at WaitWaitNPR. That's TikTok with no C's, you dweebs.
LOL.
Hi, you're on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hi, so nice to be here. I'm Tracy Furick. I live in Alexandria, Virginia, right outside of D.C.
Tracy, what do you do?
I am a high school English teacher.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
Tracy, how do you navigate knowing if a student used ChatGPT these days?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I have them handwrite at the beginning of the year, and so I kind of know their writing style. And when a student who hardly ever shows up turns in this work of masterpiece, you kind of just know. And when I type into ChatGPT the exact prompt and get the exact same thing, then you know. They're too lazy to even change it up a bit.
You're like the FBI. You're getting like a handwriting sample.
I'm hired by the CIA tomorrow. I'm ready.
That's crazy.
All right, Tracy. Well, Bill Curtis is going to read you 3 news-related limericks with the last word or phrase missing from each. If you can fill in that last word or phrase correctly on 2 limericks, you're a winner. Here's your first limerick.
No tasting room parties are hotter. And when done, we don't teeter or totter. The bouquet and the nose say it came from a hose. We are tasting assortments of
water.
Okay, so it rhymes with totter?
It rhymes with totter, and it comes from a hose.
How about
water?
Oh,
That's
yes.
right.
Yes.
And hose water is
Did you all say water first? Or did you say something
Yes.
else before you said water? You said
Something
water.
else before water and then changed it before she said it.
What did you say?
I thought they were going a different direction, so I thought they were giving something to their daughter.
I said daughter.
Yeah.
I said water.
Otter was also in my thought process there. But when I realized that, it was like, nope, it's water. It's water. So, actually, really what it was I heard Peanut Gallery say it, so I cheated off his test.
I changed it because they're like, we're tasting something. I'm like, well, we're not tasting daughters.
Right? Ooh, that doesn't work.
No, so I need to change something else.
Right. All right, back to the show.
Flavor of water.
Yes, it is.
So, fine wines are making way for fine water. More and more fancy diners are embracing boutique water brands and looking to so-called water sommeliers for advice. You'll really love the balance between hydrogen and oxygen in this one. The idea is that water from different areas has different minerals and a different taste, and I totally agree. I mean, nothing says Newark Airport like a sip from a plastic bottle of Aquafina.
Yes. We call that a reverse Jesus when you turn wine into water. It is way less fun.
It's otters.
And speaking of New Jersey, I'm from.
Oh.
Yes.
A cute bomb.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
He
Peanut
said
Gallery
otters.
just sent me a text of otters. So that just All right.
From New Jersey, and trotter does not rhyme with water.
Thank you.
All right, Tracy, here's your next limerick.
With my new friend, self-pity decreased. With this water and flour, we feast. Like me, he's a pun guy, 'cause he is a fungi. My new friend's a culture of
Yeast.
Yes, indeed. Did you nail it or what?
So because dogs and cats are expensive and time-consuming, youngsters in China have adopted pet yeast. They keep the yeast in a little jar after raising, which you could do by feeding dry yeast with flour, water, and sugar, or by wearing tight jeans for too long.
Ew.
So one of the two psychologists interviewed for the article explained that pet yeast can give its owner security because it doesn't get sick, make trouble, or need attention. It also doesn't, and this is true, do anything else. Here's
It's also
your
referred
last
to as a
lyric.
sourdough starter.
What?
All right. So friendship bread has been turned into a pet somewhere.
And pet yeast is also known as a sourdough starter.
Like I said, friendship bread.
I am not saying anything.
I'm
I say at this
considering
point
telling
ain't
this to
gonna be
Nana.
right. Nope, I ain't doing it, ain't doing it, ain't doing it.
It isn't a new con. I get discounts, so put one more scoop on. Since I am cash strapped, I browse
Coupon.
flyers and apps.
Coupon,
And
yeah.
on dates, I will pay with a
Oh, I watched Extreme Couponing. I got this. Coupon.
bring it on.
Right on.
While it used to be considered tacky, more than half of Americans now consider it okay to use a coupon on a first date. It's a good sign that your date is financially conscious, but it does ruin the vibe when they're like, you can't get shrimp, that's not part of the deal.
I wonder what world this is.
Yeah, I don't eat at places that would take coupons.
Oh.
Like what in the Applebee's?
I feel like a lot of that stuff is on your phone now, so you might be able to be slick about the coupon, right?
Right.
Like in the olden days, it's a physical thing, but now I feel like it's probably an app. Like, oh, you're going to pay with the app, and maybe you could kind of like sneak it in or use your points or something. I think you could get away with it now more than you could in the olden days.
I honestly wouldn't be mad if a dude was like, we getting 20% off, because I'm like, oh, okay, I will get the lobster.
All right, Bill, how did Tracy do?
Her class is going to go crazy. She got them all right. Perfect score.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us, Tracy.
Thank you so much.
Support for NPR and the following message come from Simply Safe. The moment at night, simplysafe.com.
Fin app. Scheduling a tour is
Each correct answer is worth 2 points. Bill,
Fin app. You'll know the moment your next place hits the market. Whether you're looking to buy your dream home or rent a sweet apartment, give Redfin your gotta-have-it wish list of property features, and you'll receive real-time notifications tailored just for you. Ready to see it up close and personal? Scheduling a tour is just a tap away. Don't wait to find your perfect match. Download the Redfin app and start searching today.
now on to our final game, Lightning Fill in the Blank. Each player will have 60 seconds to answer as many fill-in-the-blank questions as they can. Each correct answer is worth 2 points. Bill, can you give us the scores?
Luke and Joel each have 2, but Alonzo has 3.
Pressure.
All right, so I'm going to arbitrarily choose Luke to go first. The clock will start when I begin your first question. All right, Luke, fill in the blank. On Wednesday, protests continued across the country against the administration's blank policies.
Immigration, ICE.
Right.
Immigration.
On Monday, a court ruled that Trump's blanks could remain in place as legal challenges proceeded.
Teeth?
No tariffs.
Oh.
On Thursday, California Senator Alex Padilla was forcibly removed from a press conference held by Homeland Security Chief blank.
Christy Nome.
Right. Best known as the primary songwriter for the Beach Boys, musician blank passed away at the age of 82.
Brian Wilson.
Right. This week, a man in Kentucky was arrested after he responded to being kicked out of a store by blanking.
Trying to climb back in through the air conditioner.
No. By coming back and releasing a wild raccoon into the store.
Through the air conditioner. Half a point.
On Wednesday, a jury once again found disgraced movie producer blank guilty of assault.
Harvey Weinstein.
Right. With Father's Day approaching, Wired recently recommended a $50 robotic dog that can dance, swim, and blank on command.
Mark?
Bring you a
rub
beer?
its own nose in the carpet.
No, pee. The robotic dog, which is for sale on Temu, is listed as, quote, upgraded stunt robot dog with 18 modes, including kung fu, dance, swim, and urinate.
Wait, kung fu?
It's the perfect thing to buy for your dad because it wouldn't be Father's Day without a gift that says, I've known you for 40 years and still have zero idea what your interests are. Bill, how did Luke do?
He's going for the big one. 4 right, 8 more points, total of 10. He's in the lead.
For now.
All right. Joel, you're up next. Joel, fill in the blank. Following their feud last week, blank took to Twitter to apologize to President Trump.
Ugh,
Elon Musk.
Right. After her aid ship bound for Gaza was raided, environmentalist blank was deported from Israel.
Greta?
That's right, Greta Thunberg. This week, RFK Jr. fired every member of the White House advisory panel on blanks.
Vaccinations.
Right. On Thursday, Israel launched an aerial strike against targets in blank.
Iran.
Right. This week, Senator Rand Paul made a statement against the Trump administration, complaining that he had been blanked.
Punch in the face on his lawn.
Close. Disinvited from the White House picnic.
Oh, same.
After whining about it, blank was re-invited to the White House picnic.
Rand Paul.
Right. According to a new study, people using TikTok skincare routines to help their skin problems are finding their skin problems are caused by blanking.
Their skin
Injecting some into their skin cells.
The TikTok is actually causing their skin problems, the
Oh.
skincare routines themselves. A new study from Northwestern University found that many skin disorders are directly linked to the TikTok skincare routines that are supposed to prevent them. But that makes no sense. How could plastering my face with 8 mysterious substances, each with a different kind of acid in them, possibly irritate my skin?
Exactly.
Bill, how did Joyelle do?
Well, that technicality got her in the lead. 5 right, 10 more points. Total of 12. Riding high.
Bill, how many does Alonzo need to win?
A mere 5.
All right, Alonzo, this is for the game. Fill in the blank. On Monday, Russia launched over 300 drone strikes against blank.
Ukraine.
Right. On Thursday, a new study found that increased blank time is linked to low self-esteem in kids.
Playtime?
Increased screen time. This week, a town in Pennsylvania launched a new initiative to fix potholes called blank.
Fixing potholes.
It's called Fix My Hole.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
On Tuesday, paleontologists announced the discovery of a new dinosaur related to the blank.
Hole fixer.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
T-Rex. This week, programmers of a new video game revealed that whenever your character crouches, there's a 1 in 100 chance he'll blank.
Farting.
When your character crouches, there's 1 in 100 chance he'll get up.
Then he'll let out a little fart.
Okay.
Y'all look crazy.
It's being hailed as a groundbreaking moment for video game realism, and is designed to make the game more difficult. See, you're crouching to hide from your enemies, but if you fart, they can find you.
Exactly.
Bill, did Alonzo do well enough to win?
Well, he got 1 right for 2 more points, a total of 5, and that means Joyelle is this week's winner.
Peanut gallery?
So, I've heard this one, and yes, it isn't intended to make it more difficult to sneak because other players can hear you fart when you crouch down to sneak, and it makes it that much more insulting when you teabag someone in the video game.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay. Back to the show.
Oh, that's fun.
All right. In just a minute, our panelists predict, after Trump's military parade, what'll be the next surprising parade in the news. But first, let me tell you that Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me is a production of NPR and WBEZ Chicago in association with Urgent Haircut Productions. Doug Berman, Benevolent Overlord. Philip Gotica writes our limericks. Our public address announcer is Paul Friedman. Our tour manager is Shana Donald. Thanks to the staff and crew at the Studebaker Theater. BJ Liederman composed our theme. Our program is produced by Jennifer Mills, Miles Dornbos, and Lillian King. Special thanks to Blythe Robertson and Monica Hickey. Peter Gwynn is our hall pass. Emma Choi is our vibe curator. Technical direction, Lorna White. Our CFO is Colin Miller. Our production manager is Robert Newhouse. Our senior producer is Ian Chillag. The executive producer of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me is Mike Danforth. Now, panel, what'll be the next surprising parade? Alonzo Bowden.
The perp walk.
Okay.
Luke Burbank.
The Parade Magazine Parade with Grand Marshal Marilyn Vos Savant, world's smartest person.
Yes.
Joyelle Nicole Johnson.
The America, we had a good run parade.
Well, if any of that happens, we're going to ask you about it. Where? Wait, don't tell me.
Thank you, Bill Curtis. Thanks also to Joyelle Nicole Johnson, Alonzo Bowden, Luke Burbank. Thanks to all of you for listening. I'm Nagin Farsad, and we'll see you next week.
What was that first
This
one? The
is
perp parade?
NPR.
What?
This message comes
What
from
was that
First
first
Leaf.
one?
Summer.
What was what first one?
The parades.
Oh, the perp walk.
Yeah, the perp walk with its guest of honor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yup.
The bright orange.
The bright orange.
Well, actually, let's rephrase that. The truly dim orange.
The dim orange. I love that. Well, all right, friends. That was the show. Points are as follows. Me, Trevor Stewart 1308, or DJTS 1308, I don't really care. Flailing far behind with 27. And then the Peanut Gallery closely behind. Cat with 31 and Cat with 32 is today's winner. Congratulations.
I'm kind of mad at myself for not getting the raccoon question because I knew that story. I was just thinking it happened in Tennessee, not Kentucky.
Yeah, and it would be like them to do that, to throw that in. Well, all right, friends. Thank you for being here. It was great to play the game.
Yes.
Thank you for being here, Just Me Crystal. Much love to everybody. Stick around for the raid.
Which we're going to do this time.
Yes.
We are going to do it this time. I promise. We are going to do the raid this time. And we will be raiding out to, Chris into 386 over at the Sunday No Pants raid train. So, thank you all for sticking around. Have a good day. And as we say around here, I am so off my game today. As they say around here, 2 up, 2 down, VA, double deuces. We're out, y'all.
You don't want to read more into it than is there, but you don't know what to do, and it's incredibly awkward and uncomfortable, and you wish it never happened. Then it also reminds me of you walk into a room and it's like it's dinner for 2. You're going to be alone with the guy.
All right, audio set back over.
Resonance for you?
It does. I didn't because I'm maybe not. Comey just experienced what it's like to be a woman, often in the presence of a powerful male leader, and that should open the minds of a whole lot of men who otherwise wouldn't see it. And I was one of those men who didn't see it. I was focused on me, but I think that's a fair take.
My guest is former FBI Director James Comey. His new memoir, A Higher Loyalty, was published today. After a break, we'll talk about the criticism that he used a double standard in making public the Hillary Clinton email investigations, but not the investigation into Russia's attempt to hurt the Clinton campaign and help the Trump campaign. I'm Terry Gross, and this is Fresh Air. Let's move on to the Hillary investigation. The Hillary Clinton investigation. You made a statement yourself at the end of the first round of the investigation saying there would be no criminal charges, but that she was extremely careless. Actually, let me play the tape. Let me play the tape of what you said at the press conference announcing the results of the investigation.
Although we did not find clear evidence that Secretary Clinton or her colleagues intended to violate laws governing the handling of classified information, there is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information. For example, 7 email chains concern matters that were classified at the top secret special access program at the time they were sent and received. Those chains involve Secretary Clinton both sending emails about those matters and receiving emails about those same matters. There is evidence to support a conclusion that any reasonable person in Secretary Clinton's position or in the position of those with whom she was corresponding about those matters should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
Okay, it's my understanding that when an investigation is closed, and there's no charges made, that all the FBI is supposed to say is case closed, as opposed to characterizing the person who was investigating or, describing errors that they made along the way. So why did you decide to describe her and others as extremely careless and to characterize them in further ways that you did?
Yeah, that's a great question. It is absolutely the normal practice that when we complete a criminal investigation, the Justice Department finishes and there is no statement at all. Sometimes there's a statement that we're finished. Sometimes just the person being investigated is notified privately. Sometimes nothing is said at all. But there are occasions, and this has been a long tradition of the department, where the Department of Justice's policies acknowledge that the public interest